Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and discovering that every dollar you will ever earn has to be spent today. Your house, your car, your food, your electricity, your healthcare, your children's education, your retirement, even the coffee you haven't bought yet. Everything. And suddenly, instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" you have to ask a much stranger question. How much would my entire life cost? Because when you add everything together, the number gets uncomfortable very quickly. Picture an American named Mark. He's 42 years old. He has a mortgage, 2 cars, 2 kids, a 401k, a few credit cards, insurance bills, grocery bills, subscriptions, vacations, and all the little expenses he barely notices. Mark thinks about money the way most people do, month by month, paycheck by paycheck, bill by bill. But one night, he imagines something completely different. What if he had to buy his entire life in one day? No monthly payments, no future paychecks, no "I'll deal with that later." Every expense from today until the end of his life would have to be paid up front. His house suddenly isn't just a house. It's decades of mortgage payments, property taxes, insurance, repairs, utilities, and maintenance. His car isn't just the price on the window sticker. It's fuel, insurance, repairs, registration, and eventually another car. His morning coffee isn't just $5. It's $5 repeated hundreds of times. And retirement. That's where the number becomes almost impossible to emotionally process, because retirement isn't one purchase. It's thousands of future days. Thousands of meals, thousands of electricity bills, thousands of trips to the grocery store, and potentially decades of healthcare costs. Suddenly, Mark realizes something. He hasn't been buying things. He's been buying pieces of a future, and almost nobody ever adds the pieces together. That's the strange illusion of modern money. We rarely feel the total cost of our lives. We feel the monthly payment, the subscription, the grocery receipt, the minimum credit card payment, the mortgage, the car payment, one small number at a time. And because the numbers arrive separately, they never feel like one enormous bill. But what if they did? What if every future expense appeared on your kitchen table tomorrow morning? Would you still make the same decisions? Because this isn't really a story about one giant number. It's a story about the price of being alive. And once you start looking at your life that way, some ordinary financial decisions begin to look very different. Let's say my uncle decided to calculate it. Not because he was rich, not because he was trying to become a millionaire. He simply wanted to understand where his money was actually going. He started with housing. That was easy at first. Then he remembered the interest, property taxes, insurance, repairs, maintenance, utilities. And suddenly, the house wasn't a number anymore. It was a decades-long financial commitment. Then he moved to transportation, one car, then another, gas, insurance, repairs, tires, registration, and the occasional moment when something breaks at exactly the wrong time. Then came food. And this is where the calculation became almost ridiculous. Because nobody buys a lifetime of groceries. You buy dinner tonight, then breakfast tomorrow, then lunch, then another dinner. Thousands of tiny decisions eventually become one enormous lifetime expense. My uncle used to joke that his grocery bill wasn't expensive because of what he bought. It was expensive because he kept having to buy groceries. And that's the part people underestimate. The biggest expenses in life aren't always dramatic. Sometimes they're repetitive. A few dollars here, a few $100s there, a payment that feels manageable because it happens every month. But repetition is powerful. Then he reached healthcare. And suddenly, the exercise stopped being funny. Because you can estimate a mortgage, you can estimate fuel, you can estimate groceries, but the future doesn't send you a perfect invoice for healthcare. You don't know exactly what you'll need. You don't know how long you'll live. You don't know what will happen to your insurance costs. And you certainly don't know what unexpected expenses could appear decades from now. That's when my uncle realized something important. The price of your life isn't just the money you spend. It's also the uncertainty surrounding the money you haven't spent yet. And then came the biggest category of all: time. Because imagine someone spending $80,000 a year. That number sounds large. But if you somehow knew you needed that amount every year for another 30 years, you're suddenly talking about millions of dollars of future spending. And that's before trying to predict how prices could change. This is why retirement planning can feel so overwhelming. You're not planning for one purchase, you're planning for an unknown number of years. And here's where the story takes a turn. Because if your entire life were sold to you as one giant package, you probably wouldn't buy it the same way. You'd negotiate, you'd remove things, you'd question things. You might even realize that some of the things you've been paying for aren't actually worth the amount of life you traded for them. And that brings us to the most uncomfortable question. If you had to buy your entire life today, what would you refuse to pay for? Would you still choose the biggest house? Would you still need the newest car? Would you still keep every subscription? Would you still spend money just because everyone around you does? Or would you finally separate what makes your life better from what simply makes your life more expensive? Because that's when this strange thought experiment becomes a financial lesson. Your lifetime isn't just something that happens to you, piece by piece. You are purchasing it. Now imagine my grandfather looking at this same question. He grew up with a completely different relationship with money. He didn't think about subscriptions. He didn't have a phone bill filled with dozens of services. He didn't open an app and see something he wanted delivered to his house that night. But he had something many people still struggle to build. A clear understanding of the difference between what he wanted and what he actually needed. That doesn't mean his generation made every financial decision correctly. They didn't. But imagine if he had been forced to buy his entire future in one day. He probably would have asked a very simple question. How much of this do I actually need? That's the question modern life makes surprisingly difficult, because companies don't usually sell you the lifetime cost. They sell the monthly cost, $49 a month, $199 a month, $399 a month. It sounds manageable. Until you realize you're not buying one month, you're buying hundreds of them. And that's where psychology enters the story. Humans are naturally better at understanding immediate costs than distant ones. $1 today feels real. $1,000 spread across several years feels abstract. That's why future money can feel almost invisible. And this is also why lifestyle inflation can be so dangerous. You get a raise, your life gets slightly more expensive. Another raise, another upgrade, a nicer car, a bigger house, more subscriptions, more convenience, more spending. Eventually, you can make more money without actually feeling richer, because the cost of your life grew alongside your income. But here's the good news. If you can't buy your entire life in one day, you don't have to. You can still change what the future costs you. You can choose a less expensive car, you can pay down expensive debt, you can question recurring expenses. You can save before increasing your lifestyle. You can invest for the future instead of assuming future you will somehow figure everything out. And you can think about retirement as something more important than a number in an investment account. It's the ability to keep paying for your life. When the paycheck eventually stops, go back to Mark. At the beginning, he thought the question was, how much would my entire life cost? But after thinking about it, he realized that wasn't really the right question. The better question was, what kind of life am I willing to pay for? Because you can spend millions of dollars and still feel like you never had enough. Or you can spend less, own less, and still have a life that feels incredibly valuable. Money doesn't just buy houses, cars, food, and vacations. It buys time. It buys flexibility. It buys choices. And sometimes, the smartest financial decision isn't finding a way to make more money. It's deciding which future expenses you don't want to carry with you. So if someone offered you a deal tomorrow morning, buy your entire life today, you probably couldn't afford it. But maybe that's not the point. The point is to start looking at your financial life as if that bill already exists. Every mortgage payment is part of it. Every car payment is part of it. Every subscription is part of it. Every unnecessary purchase is part of it. And every dollar you save and invest is also part of it. Because you're not just spending money on today, you're building the financial cost of tomorrow. And the next time you buy something that comes with a monthly payment, stop for a second. Don't ask only, can I afford this? Ask, would I still choose this if I had to buy the entire thing today? That one question can change the way you see money. Because the real cost of your life isn't the number on one receipt. It's the collection of thousands of financial decisions, quietly adding up year after year. And if you learn to see that total before you spend it, you may discover something surprisingly powerful. You don't necessarily need to earn more to afford a better life. Sometimes, you just need to stop paying for a life you don't actually want. Subscribe to MSBT Finance for more documentaries about the money decisions shaping America's future.